In today's video, we are going to be checking out the Mother Preamp pedal from Science Amplification. What's going on, everyone? My name is Zach and this is Fuzz Drones. On this channel, what I like to do is demo some of the heaviest sounding pedals and amps, do a demo for them, and then release that demo to you. So if you're into stoner rock, doom metal, droning, any styles of music like that, even post-rock, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I do post weekly videos. So starting this year, I am going to do something a little bit different. I will be giving away one pedal every single month to one lucky viewer. All you need to do is be subscribed to my channel and comment on at least one video that I release that month. At the end of the month, I will go through the comments section and pick one lucky winner to send that pedal to. So today we are going to be checking out the Mother Preamp pedal from Science Amps. I have known about this pedal being in development for about 3 or 4 months now, and it's probably been one of the hardest secrets for me to keep. As many of you know, I am a huge fan of Alex's work and the amps that he designs. Alex was kind enough to send me out a 100-watt Mother maybe 3 or 4 months ago to use in the Doom Metal Amp Shootout series that I've been doing. So after doing that shootout series, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days later, I emailed Alex and I go, Alex, I am absolutely in love with this amp. I need one of my own. It was just a super easy amp to dial in. It sounded great. The quality was great. Just everything about it was just top notch. And I'm just so stoked to finally have one of those in my collection. So I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit worried when I got this pedal, and the reason why I say that is I've tried quite a few preamp pedals that are modeled after another preamp section of amplifiers, and when I've got them, I was super excited about it, and I'm like, oh, this is going to sound great. And then you hook it up, you put a couple of pedals in front of it, and it just sounds super splatty, super thin, and it just didn't work for me. It didn't sound like the actual amp, and it was just a major letdown. But this pedal did not do that, and it surprised me in the best way possible, just because I really felt like I had the amp in the bedroom with me when testing this out, when we were reamping the tracks for the In the Mix section and everything like that. I would say without a doubt this would definitely be stage worthy. So if you wanted to just get a little power amp, hook this up and use this as your main rig and throw some pedals in front of it, you would have no problem doing that. So now for this next section, normally what I do is I'll go over the controls and everything like that and just explain a little bit more of the ins and outs of the pedal. But Alex from Science Amp was kind enough to explain that all for you in this next video section. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it along to Alex, and he's going to tell you everything that you need to know about this pedal and what's going on underneath the hood.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Alex from Science Amps, and I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more info about this new Mother preamp pedal. So this thing is based off of the Mark III dual channel version of the Mother, and it has all the same controls and features as the actual amp, including a couple extra things that make it a little bit more versatile and useful in this pedal format. The other difference with this is that in place of vacuum tubes, it uses field effect transistors, or FETs as they're known for short. And those do a really amazing job of mimicking the tonal characteristics of vacuum tubes, including the distortion quality, the dynamic response, headroom, and feel of actual tubes. So after some dialing in, this thing's gotten super close to the amp, and done tons of A/B testing, of course, in development. And it's gotten to the point where I can't even tell it apart from the real amp anymore, whether it's in the room or close mic'd, and just like super impressed with these little devices and how close they can sound to vacuum tubes. Otherwise, the circuit is really, really similar, and yeah, about the closest thing you can get to the real amp. So you guys may have heard of FETs before, and the reason I mention it is because that's kind of how this whole thing got started. I tried a pedal made by Electronic Audio Experiments called the Model FET, which is their take on the Sun Model T. And I contacted the designer, John, who's a buddy of mine. I told him how much I liked it, and he asked if I'd ever be interested in doing something like that with one of my own amps. And I'd kind of thought of it, but I really needed a seasoned pedal designer like him to help me. So I decided to go for it, and sent him an amp and a schematic for analysis. And we worked on this thing for about 1.5 years, went through a few prototypes, and super happy with how it came out. But anyway, so like I said, it has all the same controls as the actual amp. It has individual gain controls for each channel, master volume for each channel, the shared EQ. I kind of want to talk about this kind of two unique EQ controls, the depth and absence. So the depth is kind of like a front end bass or low end control. You can control how tight or lean the sound is going into the rest of the circuit, or kind of how thick and even fuzzy, depending on how much distortion you have as you turn it up. And so that's really good for adjusting it to your guitar or bass, or just your playing style or preference. And it adjusts feel just kind of almost as much as it adjusts the sound. On the other end, at the end of the circuit, we have the absence control, and that's really great for smoothing out the upper harmonics, kind of tailoring those to your preference or whatever speaker cab you're using, or brightening it up if you turn it back. So you kind of have those two global controls you can use to kind of find your happy place, and then you can use the 3-band EQ here to kind of fine tune. Besides that, the main thing with this that makes it really unique, in my opinion, is these two separately voiced output jacks. So a lot of times with a preamp pedal like this, you'll find it's voiced to work well into the front of your amp, meaning like into your amp's clean channel, or conversely, it works really good into a flat, meaning like neutral sounding power amp, or for direct recording, but not really both. So with this, we really didn't want to compromise. We wanted it to work equally well for both. So we decided to make these two separately voiced output jacks. So this one here, the power amp direct out, is meant to feed a power amp and speaker cabinet. And then that's actually how Zach used it in his demo. So you could use a power amp like an old Class AB solid state amp, or more modern Class D power amp, something like a Duncan Power Stage, or even an old tube or new modern tube standalone tube power amp. Or of course you could use it into the return of your amp's effects loop if it's got one. So this output outputs the full spectrum of the amp sound, or in this case the pedal sound, and just to feed into a power amp to make louder. So you could use that for live use or practicing or recording. The other use for this jack is to go directly into a recording interface and into recording software. It needs to be used in conjunction with like a speaker cab emulator, or more commonly these days, like a plugin where you can load impulse responses. I actually have some impulse responses that you can download for free from my website, some science cabs if you're interested. So that works really great for direct recording, super realistic amp sounds, or you can even just use it for headphone practicing that way through your recording software, or demoing ideas and stuff like that. This other jack is voiced to mesh well with like your amp's clean channel, or it works great into like a broken up or even dirty sound too, depending on the settings. And you can set the pedal so it's basically like transparent when you plug it into your amp. And so in that way, you can just use this to like stack levels of gain on top of your bass sound. Or you can use it as an always on pedal to kind of like reshape your core sound and then use the second channel as like an overdrive, a second sound. So yeah, that one's designed to like not step on your amp's tone unless you want it to. Yeah, I think that's about it. Of course, this thing works great with other pedals in front or after, and you can get creative with that, like just like you would with any other drive or preamp pedals on your board. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks again to Zach for doing the demo. He got to try the actual amp in his Doom Shootout series last year, and so it was really cool to hear his take on this new pedal version. Hopefully that wasn't too much info. If you want any more, you can go to scienceamps.com. My Instagram page. There's a manual for download on the website as well that has tech specs and stuff like that. And you can always email me any questions you have. I'm happy to answer them. So yeah, I hope that covers it. And thanks again for checking out the pedal. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, later.
All right, thanks Alex for all of that information about the Mother. So for this section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you channel A, which is going to be the cleaner side of the pedal. Basically, this is the clean channel on the actual Mother. The thing about this is you could get very nice glassy cleans, but if you crank the gain up, you get this fantastic sounding edge of breakup tone, and it's just fantastic. You'll see it in the video. Some of the tones I was getting out of that, it just sounded so good. And then for the second section, I am going to show you what channel B sounds like. This is going to be the higher gain, basically section of the amp. To be honest with you, if you just had this as your main tone, you would be set. You're going to hear it in the clips in a little bit. It just sounds fantastic. Everything about this pedal is just amazing. All right, so that is the mother from Science Amplification. I want to thank Alex and Mass Distro for sending me this pedal out and letting me be on the release of this. Alex, if you're watching this, I sure hope you are. You did a fantastic job with this, and I back this pedal 1000%. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future demos, but until my next video, as always, my name is Zach, and have a good night.